Sexuality Educator, and I have a guest today. This is Eva of the channel What's My Body Doing? Eva is here today because I got a request from a Facebook follower about, well, I'm just going to read it to you. I'd love some stuff to tag for my university living child. Maybe something for the 18-ish and alone for the first time set. I was 18 and started university, but that was a long ass time ago. So I thought it would be great if you came because you've had that experience more recently than I have, and you also know a ton about sexuality. So you seem like the perfect person.
Oh.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I did my first year of undergrad in 2013. So a little bit more recently, like Nadine said, I make sex ed YouTube videos about sexual health, relationships, sexuality, all that stuff. I'm doing my master's in like the psychology of sexuality, so I love research and try and incorporate that into all the videos I make.
Yes, and you were just saying that someday you're going to write a book about the psychology of sexuality, and I would like to read your book.
I'll send you a copy right away.
Awesome. Okay. What would you tell someone who is, maybe just starting university or college, or is just, going out into the world on their own for the first time? What do you think they should know?
Mm-hmm. So one thing that you should know is that you should never buy condoms or any safer sex equipment while you're at university. So there will be a clinic or a student health education center on your campus, and you can go there and get condoms and lube and dental dams and maybe gloves and like finger cots. So don't pay for that. And also, they are the people that will know about how to take care of your sexual health. So if you ever have any questions, kind of go there first, get the condoms, and just know that if you ever have any questions about where to get tested for STIs, like if you usually want like books about how to make your sex life better, they are going to be kind of like your best friends on campus.
For families who, want their teens and tweens to be prepared when they go into university or college, when they strike out on their own, what conversations or what information do you think is important for them to share with their kids?
So, two things. The first one is have a conversation about rape culture and about bystander intervention if you have not already done that. It can definitely be like a daunting thing to talk about. So, I have a thread on my Twitter that really breaks it all down, which is basically like Sasha, the Sexual Assault Crisis Center in Hamilton. They took pictures and documented one of Julie Lalonde's bystander intervention lectures. So it's all there, like from beginning to end with resources and pictures. So that's an awesome place to start.
Yeah, they're an amazing organization. They've been really supportive of my work. And Julie, sorry, that's my cat. It's not appropriate right now. Go. Julie Lalonde is actually a really good friend of mine. I've known her for years, and so I can 100% vouch for her work. She's passionate, she's informed, she knows what she's talking about. So definitely check that out. I will actually put a link to that below in the description box. So you can just click on it and it'll be right there for you.
My second one, conversation is talk to your kids about how they're entitled to pleasure and like actually like pleasurable encounters, especially children who are like socialized as female. A lot of the conversations are about how to say no to sex. And when you're like going off and having your first like early adult experiences, you should know that you're allowed to advocate for what you want, explore pleasure in your own body, buy a sex toy if you want to, read blogs. And Nadine and I are going to be talking about kind of our favorite media and like all of that things that you can send to your teens to start that conversation. But yeah, again, that one also can be kind of uncomfortable, but your kids are entitled to pleasure.
Absolutely. So I have a couple of videos on talking to your kids about pleasure. So I will link that. I'll put the eye up here and I'll put it down below. And I'll also put below the link to the video that we're going to do on her channel. And there's tons of resources out there to kind of help you navigate those questions. I'm actually going to also be doing a video in a couple of weeks about teens and sex toys and how do you have that whole conversation, because that can feel a little tricky and daunting, but it can be done. So what is something that you didn't know that you wish you had known when you first sort of like went out on your own? And it can be like a sexuality thing or not sexuality thing, like anything you want.
So one thing that I want you to know is kind of like think about how you're spending your time in terms of with people or by yourself, and think about like whether you're more of an extroverted or an introverted person, because I found that like partway through my first year experience I was like feeling really tired all the time, like, and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm spending so much time with people. I'm always like eating dinner with people, all of my classes. I had 30 hours of class in first year, so I was with people all the time. So kind of like think back on what you need and really allocate time to that. Yeah.
That's an awesome one.
Yeah, because your routine's like all out of whack. Like you don't have this 9-to-5 school and like your extracurricular activities. There's a whole other system, and you have to like figure out what works for you.
That's a lot. Okay. Okay, so thank you so much. That is a really awesome overview just of what people can maybe expect from their university experiences and conversations that, we can have as parents to help prepare our kids, if they're getting ready to leave home, or even if, it's like 2 or 3 years out. I don't think it's necessarily too early to start preparing them for that, because it's a big transition. So, it can take a while. So yeah, I really appreciate it. So tell us where folks can find you.
So people can find me on YouTube at What's My Body Doing. People can also find me on Twitter. On Twitter, I also talk a lot about like political stuff. So if you want to hear about that and sexuality, I will be there. I also have an Instagram, What's My Body Doing, and a Tumblr, What Is My Body Doing. I'm all over the internet.
Yeah, and she has really fun Insta stories if you're on Instagram. So check those out too. And and check us out over on her channel, because we're going to be talking about some of our sexy favorites, which I'm excited about, because I get to talk about, things that aren't necessarily related to parenting, which I don't get to do very much on this channel. So woohoo.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This was super fun.
It was my pleasure. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this video and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. You can like the video. You can share the video. Otherwise, that's all for now. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye. I'm trying to remember if we had one of those on campus when I was, not only was I an undergrad like a long time before you were, it was a different century. Like it was still the 1900s when I both started and graduated from undergrad. So this is just what we're working here, but that's an awesome tip. Okay, sweet.